right, thank you everybody for being here today. We have interim head coach Adrian Gonzalez. Jason, go ahead and kick us off.
Adrian, I was curious what your thoughts were on the game in terms of it. There was a little bit of the way North Carolina approached you that reminded me, at least, of San Diego and keeping their wingers high and wide to sort of occupy the fullbacks. How do you think the team dealt with that or did not deal with that particular challenge?
Well, I think today, honestly, we haven't had the game that we were expecting for sure. We need to take this game as a learning. I think behind every game there is a learning, especially when you lose, and we need to identify what happened today. But right now, the feeling that I have is, especially we know that they wanted to progress through the middle. They want to create numbers inside, dropping their 9 with Sanchez, with 2 midfielders, sometimes also with fullback there inside. We know that would happen, and I think we haven't adjusted properly, especially first half. And then second half, I think we had a better performance. Again, not too many chances today, but even though we didn't have the best game today, we could have scored at least one, I think. But if we see the big picture, I think we need to be honest, and I think today we haven't deserved a victory. So when we created chances, other games, I said like, okay, maybe we could have scored more goals and maybe we could have had better result. Today, my feeling is we haven't had what we wanted, and it wasn't enough. Maybe we could tie today because always you push until the end. The team, they've been working hard until the end, but I think we need to do much more to win a game. And yeah, we've done that during many games, but this week we couldn't, and yeah, we need to learn from that.
There was a little spell at the end. You'd made your last subs. It looked like McKenna was playing the 9 and Hatch was underneath, but then the hydration break came, and then it seemed like there was maybe a reshuffle there.
Yeah, no, because we wanted McKenna on left side, but we were expecting, because we didn't know about Casey, if she could continue or not. So just in case Casey couldn't continue, so we were just expecting to put McKenna there. So that's why she was a little bit confused with Trin there, but we wanted to have McKenna on left side and Trin more as a 9 with Hachi, with 2 forwards and trying to thread behind, because we knew, especially behind the fullbacks and center backs, we could have had more advantage. But I think today we couldn't find those balls and those spaces.
Luis?
Coach, siempre la derrota es difícil preguntar, o sea, quiero hablar contigo un poco de el medio campo, o sea, quizás no hubo mucha presencia hoy, también hubo un poco de indecisión de las jugadoras en el último tercio de la cancha, donde por momentos no sabían si dar un pase extra o tirar a gol. Tampoco el equipo hoy, como que no hubo mucho remate a media distancia, siempre trataron de puchar la bola para tratar de buscar un mejor pase a gol, o sea, cosas que yo sé que se pueden mejorar, o sea, ¿qué cosas positivas se pueden sacar del día de hoy?
Bueno, como decía antes, aprender. Al final, nosotros creo que si algo nos caracteriza es la humildad. Somos conscientes de que hemos hecho las cosas muy bien en estos últimos meses, pero que al final en esta liga cualquier equipo te puede ganar. Y puede pasar lo que ha pasado hoy, que al final pues no tengas el partido que esperabas, que a lo mejor pues con balón no estés todo lo preciso que hemos estado en otros días, que a lo mejor no crees tantas ocasiones. Y al final, bueno, pues con trabajo, con humildad y al final pues con ambición de seguir mejorando. Queda muchísima liga y el equipo tiene que coger este partido como un aprendizaje. Es cierto que en el medio del campo nos ha faltado quizá un poquito pues más de paciencia. Sabíamos que queríamos buscar un poco esos espacios detrás de sus delanteras, intentar recibir allí con Hall y con Page. Nos ha costado sobre todo la primera parte. Muchas veces también podíamos recibir y quizá ir hacia adelante y no lo hacíamos. Y bueno, pues al final cuando tienes que dar siempre más de un pase, un extra pase, pues al final el ataque no es tan limpio, por decirlo de alguna manera, y el equipo pues parece que se atasca un poco ahí, ¿no? También en el último tercio es verdad que nos ha faltado quizá esa precisión en su último pase o en esa toma de decisión de poder finalizar o de tener más paciencia en su campo. Yo creo que ahí podíamos haber tenido ataques un poquito más largos. y con más paciencia quizá hubiéramos encontrado alguna ocasión más clara.
Se habla, ¿verdad? De estas últimas semanas te han bombardeado demasiado con la transición y el cambio con el nuevo coach, pero yo quiero hablar de otro tipo de transición, quiero hablar del cambio del juego, de la jugadora. O sea, he tenido la oportunidad de ver la evolución. O sea, antes quizás no había un tiki-taka, ahora lo hay mucho más, se ve un juego más limpio, o sea, con mucha más paciencia, aunque hoy no lo fue, pero se está viendo. Háblame de esa transición que tú has trabajado desde el día 1 hasta hoy día, cómo sigue jugando el equipo.
Bueno, al final nosotros llegamos aquí con una idea muy clara y era intentar ayudar al club y a las jugadoras a jugar de otra manera. El equipo venía de un contexto totalmente distinto el año pasado, ni mejor ni peor, pero distinto, donde pues quizás se jugaba un poquito más vertical, con distancias más largas, donde no se tenía una propuesta quizá tan asociativa. Y por eso el club nos contrata, tanto a Jonathan como a mí, y para intentar de alguna manera ayudar a la jugadora a interpretar y a ejecutar esa manera de jugar, ¿no? Sabíamos que iba a ser difícil porque al final cambiar eso no es fácil y necesitas tiempo, pero la progresión y la mejora ha sido, yo creo que muy positiva y en muy poco tiempo. Eso dice mucho de las jugadoras, de la capacidad que tienen de aprender, de ejecutar lo que se propone y la ambición que tienen, ¿no? Entonces, muy contento, muy orgulloso con cómo han ido todos estos meses y ahora, pues bueno, tenemos todavía un partido más para seguir mejorando y luego hay un parón en verano que nos va a venir muy bien para descansar un poco también y seguir mejorando. Entonces, esa segunda etapa de la liga vamos a crecer seguro muchísimo, con la incorporación de Jona, los otros compañeros, con nuevas jugadoras, el equipo va a crecer, porque siento que hemos asentado un poco las bases de lo que queremos como equipo, la identidad que queremos tener, y ahora, pues bueno, a partir de ahí podemos seguir mejorando.
Over to Annie.
Thank you. Obviously, Andy Sullivan didn't play in this match, and just wondering what impact you thought her not being on the field might have had on the team's performance, and especially kind of inability to play through the midfield the way they might like.
Huge impact. She is, I think, a player that brings leadership, brings patience for the build-up. During the build-up, she is helping us a lot, and also defensively, she has the ability to organize the team. And when the things are not going good or as we were expecting, she's the first one who always made that step forward. And yeah, today for sure we've missed her. But yeah, we need to learn and we need to be able to do that also with all the players as a team. We need to have also that ambition and also that leadership of the players on the pitch, because sometimes the things are not as you were expecting, and we need to be ready to face those situations too. But yeah, she had yesterday, the last training session, she felt a little bit her hip again, and at this point, it doesn't make sense to push any player. I think we have that summer break, and thinking about next game, we want the players as fresh as possible. And that's why we've decided today to give her a rest, because she needed it. And of course, we have other players that also are competing good. And that's why we couldn't play today with her.
Okay, thank you.
Any more for Coach? Peyton?
Hi, Coach.
Hello.
Rough translation we just worked through, but we believe you were talking a bit about the lack of connection that we were seeing on the field. How, especially between the midfield and forwards, where it just seemed like things were not quite getting there and we were seeing a lot more balls kind of pinged from the back. What can you guys do in the next week to try to recreate that? Would you say that's an accurate assessment of the game today?
Well, we've been talking about, especially in the middle today, we couldn't find, especially Hal and Paige behind the forwards. We've been working on that this week, and other games during the build-up we could find those players and those spaces much better. And then once you find those players there, your attack is better because you can progress, and then you can find maybe Croy or Courtney in those pockets. And today, we know that they had a lot of players in the middle. It wasn't easy to progress through the middle, but I think we could have done a better job, especially facing forward, because sometimes we could receive there, but facing backwards, and we needed a lot of time just to turn, and we couldn't progress. And yeah, we are going to continue working on that, because this is nothing new. We've been working on that because the way that we want to play is very important. So when the ball goes there, then you can have a better attack. And yeah, I think today also we could have done maybe a better job with Trin, Ule, Croy, with those players, because yeah, when the ball arrived there, so we were not as accurate as other games, maybe with the last pass or with the decision making. We wanted to progress and to finish so fast with shooting, or maybe with just kicking the ball. Something that we've been working on that, especially when we are in the half. We know that we need to be more patient, and if you cannot attack fast, we need to have longer possessions. But yeah, again, we need to learn from that and try to be better next week.
Thank you.
And we'll wrap up with Jason.
Adrian, I wanted to ask, at the end of the match, when you're having to make some decisions on those last two subs, for example, you bring Ule and Croy out of the game. Is that just down to fitness, or was there performance, or what was the rationale?
Performance. I didn't like what I was seeing, and we have enough players to move the team. I'm not criticizing them for sure. I'm just saying about the energy, about the feeling that I have. We couldn't find those players. Sorry. I was feeling that today we were sometimes a little bit down. I don't know why, to be honest. And sometimes you need to move the team. You need to provoke different things, different relationships. Bring in Hachi and Breed. They have a great energy, and we've seen that other games. And yeah, we wanted to create different options, and also, yeah, Ule, Croy, Trin, yeah, a lot of players. They've been playing a lot of games, and sometimes when we see that the performance is maybe going down, or the energy is not 100%, for sure we need to move the team. And I think it's good to have that competition, and all the players can play, all the players can start, and they need to be 100% for sure.
Last 5 minutes or so, it looked like Tara especially was getting on the ball and not just playing long, but actually driving forward, trying to break a line that way.
Yeah.
Is that her making a read in the late game, or are you directing her to say, like, let's have you step in as well?
Well, I think last minutes, there are a lot of emotions, and then all players, they want to go forward. She can do that, but I think especially today, it wasn't easy to dribble, because the field, to be honest, is not so good for that, especially in the middle. We wanted to progress more through the width. In those last minutes, we've been working on that to try to put balls inside the box, to provoke set pieces. But she has that energy, and for sure she wants to help the team going forward. But yeah, I think we need to manage a little bit better those minutes, because sometimes yeah, we need to be a little bit more patient and try to identify when is a good time to put that ball, or when to dribble, and try to find the better option.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Adrian. We will be right back.
Thank you. No me voy, eh? No me voy.
We will be right back with Hal Hirschfeld and Tara.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone, we have Tara McKeown and Hal Hirschfeld. Jason, kick us off.
Thanks you both for speaking with us. I want to ask first about sort of the problem that North Carolina kind of posed, high and wide on the wings and then crowded in the middle. From both of your perspectives, where were the pockets and were you able to find them? And was it just a matter of finding the goal, or was it harder to find them and thus add up the chances that you normally would have?
I honestly think like our lack of chances, well, we had quite a bit of chances, but came from like just our rhythm and our energy. I feel like we would have moments, like a good 5 to 10 minutes, where we would just be like up in their half, like working it, but then we would kind of die off. I feel like that's really where we went wrong this game. Yeah, they're a good team, and I feel like they were able to expose us, especially like through the middle a little bit, playing those slip balls into our box and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think it was up to us to really turn it up, and we didn't do that. So.
Tara, I wanted to ask you about obviously you've defended against Ashley Sanchez a bunch of times. How was it tonight? How different was it with their maybe playing a different system than, as teammates, you're obviously working in the same system. Now they're playing a very different way. How was that for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a little weird seeing her on the other team, but I think we had a game plan and we just didn't execute it as well as we probably hoped. Like Hal said, they were able to find like slip passes in the pockets and behind our backs. So I think, yeah, just going forward, needing to work on that this week.
Jimena?
This question is for you, Hal. How do you feeling to be in the Olympic Games soon? Actually, in 28 days.
I'm really excited. Obviously, I feel like when you're growing up playing soccer, like that's a big dream for everybody, and I'm just so grateful that I've been given this opportunity, and I'm excited to go to Paris.
How was to playing against Ashley Sanchez tonight?
I mean, she's a great player, and she's really good at finding those spaces in the midfield. Yeah, she's a great player.
And for both of you, how is to see the transition of Adrián González and now to having a new coach, Jonathan?
I think we knew this moment was coming. We're obviously still going to have Adrian on the sideline and as an assistant coach, and we're really looking forward to working with both of them going forward.
Okay, thank you. Gracias.
For both of you, where do you guys feel is the biggest improvement that needs to be done heading into the game against Bay FC? And what was the messaging post-game from the coaching staff on your performance tonight?
I feel like just repeating what I touched on already, just the consistency of our rhythm and our intensity. I feel like that's what we really need to improve on. And yeah, I hope that we can take that into Bay. So.
I agree. I feel like our energy was just a little down today, and we haven't really had, like Aubrey said, we haven't been shut out since the season opener. So just getting back at it this week and scoring more goals this upcoming weekend.
From your guys' angle, did you guys think that shot was a cross, or did you guys think it was a shot? And were you kind of surprised that Aubrey wasn't able to make that save?
Aubrey's a great player. Everyone has a mistake once or twice in their career, and that just happens to be her one. So we're all behind her. We should have scored 3 goals to make up for it. So it's not on Aubrey. It's on the defenders not getting enough pressure, so she couldn't shoot the ball. And just, yeah, everyone around, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Thanks for your honesty.
Back to Andre.
Hello, thanks for speaking with us. Hal, I wanted to ask you about missing Andy in midfield. I know you two have developed quite a good connection, and I know there were multiple times it seemed where North Carolina defenders were kind of jumping out on and pressing really hard. Is that just necessarily the Andy not being there to communicate, or was that something that North Carolina was doing specifically?
First of all, Andy brings so much leadership to our team. I think that was also something that we were missing on the field. I mean, like, obviously we have leadership everywhere, like Trin, Aubrey, people like that, Tara. But, like, Andy's really, like, our central, like leader. And I feel like we did miss that quite a bit today, especially when it came to keeping the rhythm and intensity, because I feel like we work really well off each other. Paige stepped up great, though, I thought. Like, she kind of came in but it was just North Carolina was so good at kind of taking advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, appreciate that. And Tara, I wanted to ask you about those moments, especially at the end of the game. You were driving up really high. Was that just you taking space and trying to like force the issue, or was it being directed, trying to go forward as well to try to pin North Carolina deeper?
Probably a little of both. We were losing, obviously, so I think we just needed to get the ball up the field, and there was space in front of me to dribble, so I just took the space and then looked for the passes up higher.
Appreciate it. Thank you both.
Annie?
Sorry. Adriana mentioned the field, the quality of the pitch today, making it a little difficult to dribble. And from our perspective in the press box, it looked a little rough. So I was just wondering what your experience was of the field today.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but we both played on the same field, so it's not really an excuse. But could be better.
Thank you.
All right, any more? Jason wraps up.
This was for both of you, kind of on the concept of in a game where maybe that the energy levels aren't where you want, the leadership, maybe there's a player missing or something like that. Were there moments in this game where you're, now that you've had only a few minutes to reflect on it, but openings where a single moment, a harder tackle, or some verbal leadership, maybe critical, maybe positive, whatever. Are there moments in there where you're thinking like, now I think about it, that would have been a moment to maybe, charge the group up a little in some kind of way to spur you on to a better result?
Yeah, honestly, I think that we could have been better at that throughout the game, like maybe being more upbeat in those opportunities that we were kind of crashing their goal to make something happen. I also honestly thought that we could have used some like calmness. I know that like it's all about like balance, right? And I feel like there were some times where we could have taken control of the game in a different way, but we were too frantic. So I think finding that good balance was very important for us, and we kind of missed the mark on that tonight.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tara and Hal.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
all on the road next weekend.
Yeah.